Good morning, everybody. Thought we'd have something slightly different today, or a different layout, or a different procedure. Change is as good as the rest, as they always say. We've got into a sort of a every 2 days I do a block and then I do a recap and I witter, which is lovely. Today I'm just going to witter, I've decided, but I'm going back to what we were doing the other day. I'm going back to Crazy Patchwork. Okay, so look, that was my block, wasn't it? Which I have to say, I've not got a lot further with. By standing, I can bring this right at you. I hope later today to be able to do my stitching. The octopi have gone. Well, no, they've not gone. They're in a box at the end of the table waiting for DPD to come and get them. And then they'll be gone this afternoon, which is good. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm going to go over my stitching and I'm going to add in maybe a little bit of lace, just for the hell of it, and whatever else I can lay my hands on, really. I might put a butterfly or something in there. I think somebody else put a butterfly in the other day. That would be nice. It originated many years ago. This is nothing new, obviously. I'm quite a one for saying, aren't I? There's nothing really new in this world. It's all been done somewhere before, in some way, shape or form. And all we're doing is putting our take on these things. And a modern day, actually, there's a nice little gizmo we can do with that now, instead of having to go a long way around it. Things have progressed in lots of ways, but actually they have stayed the same in an awful lot of ways as well. It has to be said. And I tend to do the traditional stuff, I suppose, because I work in a traditional manner probably more so than most, because again, I learnt a good few years ago. And when I did my City and Guilds, we had to do all the old techniques, everything. And things have come a huge way since then, 20 plus years ago. So anyway, so Crazy Patchwork was using up all the lovely bits and pieces of scraps and fabric and things that they wouldn't want to have thrown away. So it would have been possibly velvets and satins and sheens and all sorts of lovely little bits of lace. It could have been anything that they were making use of. And then they would sit and hand embroider over all of the joins, so that that all became an integral part of it. I was nosing this morning for something else, and I came across a book that I've had a little while now. A friend of mine gave it to me a while back. Can you see that? Look at that cover. That's all crazy. Yeah. The back panel there. You've got lots of craziness going on, but it's also introducing, can you see that Dresden plate in there? It's introducing designs that are traditional and known, but in a crazy manner. I mean, there's all sorts of lovely embroidery type stuff going on there. Now, it's been going on for donkey's years. You know, they've made the most of whatever they've had. There's butterflies and flowers and all sorts of embroidery bits on these. I just thought I'd show you that because it had come to hand. You'll find loads and loads of books on Crazy Patchwork. It really is a thing. And garments made of Crazy Patchwork, that sort of stuff. We just love it, don't we? And people will go out and buy nice new fresh fabric to make Crazy Patchwork with, which sort of defeats the object. But I so get it, because we love our fabric, don't we? And it's a reason to buy. And a colour, like I'm doing with our quilt, 1 or 2 tie colours will bring it all the way through, and tie the whole thing together and make it look quite cohesive with a bit of luck. Right, so what I've done behind me, I've got out, I have a big piece of Crazy Patchwork on the go. And it's been on the go for several years, and it'll probably be on the go for the rest of my life. I don't know if you can see that well enough, but they're huge pieces. Yeah. Velvets, silks, hand dyeds. Look in there. Hopefully you can see that. That's a piece of Bargello in satins and brocade that I did, and I thought, oh, well, I don't want to do a great big quilt out of that, because that really was hard work. But I thought, how nice that we can put a little piece in there. That was a scarf, look, with the tassel end. What I might do in a minute is, you'll have to bear with me, I'll go and see, can I get the camera, and I'll show you this up close. Okay, and then there's a nice big piece of lace being put on there. Here, this here, is shadow applique. I did a small sample of daisies, and I'd started embellishing and doing with it. And it was a sample, and it probably wasn't destined for anywhere or anything. I was just showing something to somebody. So it became part of this overall quilt. This is just my absolute lovely favourite stretchy velour-y type, multi-dyed. I had a top in it. It was humongous. I've still got it somewhere. It's a summer top, but I can only wear it when it's really, really hot. And if there's nobody around that knows me, because actually it's really a bit in your face. But I love it. Brocade, another piece of scarf, silk. This here, I don't know if you can see, I can get my hand in there. It's half a handbag. And the handle is metal and ties up. But you could put your tissues and things in there if and whenever it gets finished. Silks, designer silks there from Mr. Rosenberg. Thank you very much, Mr. Rosenberg. Butterfly motifs, lace, beading, all sorts of... I'm going to come round and get you and see, can I show you this a little bit better? You have to bear with me because, as we know, I'm not the world's greatest at this sort of thing. Look, you've got a thumb and everything there. Okay, so I'm going to bring you this way so that actually... Good morning, Tom, in his basket. Look how lovely he is. He's a gorgeous boy. What have you been doing there? Oh, you've been scrapping or something. Right, so around here... Dooby. Now, let me show you. Look, there's the pocket. Can you see? There's the, and then it's half a handbag, an old handbag that I found. Look at all this old beadwork and metal. That's metal thread. It's absolutely fabulous. Found that in a charity shop one day. So look, I'm just going to bring you across it so that you can see. Look, there's the fancy lace. All right. That was another scarf there, gorgeous. To do some beading going on here, just started. Okay, hopefully you're getting this. This here was a doily, a crocheted doily. I say crochet, I'm assuming it's crochet. I think it's crochet. It could have been all sorts of anything. I found that in a charity shop as well, and I've put it underneath some voile and stitched it in so that it's like shadow applique to hold it as it is and make it part of it. So we're coming on down here. Look there, that was an old broochy type thing, and I put some stuff off it and couched that down. There's a bit of braid. There's the butterfly. Yeah, and then down here we've got lace with all sorts of beads put into it. And the same here, there's all sorts of beads on there and pearls. Okay, over here we've got, can you see that? That's a handkerchief, and I've put on a sparkly button because I like sparkly. Sparklies are always good. And then what have we got over here? That's the fabric that was my top. I absolutely adore that top. There we are. That's part of a linen tablecloth with the embroidery bit. Yeah. That's a brocadey type fabulous piece of something. I've just started doing a bit of stitch there. So there's a little bit of chain stitch going on. Silks, brocades. This is the Bargello. Hopefully you can see that. There's a brocade in there, and these are all silks. And it was an absolute devil to do. I'm being good here, I'm not swearing. It really did take a little bit of doing. But I had such a lovely time. And I thought, well, I've got to use it. So a lot of these are my sampley bits. So I've put that in there. That, just a fabulous piece of lace. So I've put that over another bit of fabric so that it can be seen. I think that's a little bit of ribbon actually in there. Velvet, look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Doody. Well, that was part of the scarf. There are brocadey stuff going on. Another piece of netty type stuff that got something underneath it, yeah. That is just fabulous silk. Fabulous. From the silk route. There we go. Look, this one here is the shadow applique, and I've hand stitched that all in. And you've got lots of bits of detail going on in the centres there. What we've got down here. Look, there's a piece of something. More brocadey things. Oh, I'm having problems with you here. There we are. brocadey stuff. Okay, bring you back this way, and we're sort of back to the beginning. Yeah, so basically all sorts of everything, and huge. It is an ongoing project, as I say. It's probably going to be years worth. And I don't know if you can see the back there, where I've started stitching and doing and all the rest of it. That's actually into a piece of wadding. I had this moment when I decided, oh, I'm going to do this. I was actually at a quilt show that unfortunately was very, very quiet. There was all sorts of not a lot of people. And in between my teaching, because my classes were okay, but there weren't a lot of people wandering about. And I always like to have something to be doing. If you know me at the shows, I've always got something in my hand, or normally got something stitching in my hand. So I had a piece of old wadding, and then it was a case of what have I got to hand. So hence we started with samples and stuff, and I started just placing them on this wadding and stitching and flipping them. I think that I said stitch and flip the other day, didn't I, when I was talking about patchwork. It's actually also known as foundation piecing, because you're actually piecing onto a foundation piece of fabric, or in this case a piece of wadding, because that's all I had to hand. But I think it'll be quite interesting as and when and if I ever get it done. Whilst I'm stood here with you in my hand, what I am going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you around the rest of the cabin again, and just have a little look and see how we're getting on. All right, hopefully I'm not doing this too quickly, because if you do it too quickly, it can give you a headache, make you feel a bit poorly. Hey, look, there's Abby's wittering stand. That was made by Kevin for me. That's our friend. And I do all sorts of weird balancings on it to get it at the angle that I may or may not need it on the day. And then over there, you can start to see, look, space. The final frontier. Hoover and everything. Look, little pile of quilts. Witch's hat, because I have to have my witch's hat, because I've got the witch's cat, haven't I? And those that know the cupboard, my witch's broom is on the outside of the cupboard. Anyone would think I'm a bit of a witch living at White Cross. But there we are. So as you can see over there, it's all coming on nicely. Bathroom was totally mucked out. We've got floor. That in itself is quite something, to think that we've actually got floor. I'm hopeful that you're seeing all of this. You saw a bit of the roof then, I'm sorry. There we go. And it's all looking lovely. It's not so nice out there today. Oh, look, there's my husband. Do you want to see my husband? Should we go outside and say hello to Paul? Let's go outside. Look. Doobie doo. Look, there he is. He's on his knees and everything. And he's got his ear holes in. Say hello.
Hello.
That's Paul. It's good, isn't it? He's making it all look pretty and everything out here. And there's me witch's broom. See, I told you. Can you see me witch's broom?
There's a landing strip here coming down the road.
This apparently is my landing strip. All right, just down here.
Landing strip.
And all the ladies, because we do have a little sign here as well. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Very busy on a Wednesday night.
Witches gather here. Apparently Wednesday's night is the worst. So there we go. So that's the outside, and it's not as nice as it was. But we'll come back in, and here's Tom. All right, there's our Tom. Hopefully you can see him. There he is. He's gorgeous boy in his bed, because he is just loveliness. I'm going to put you back on the stand. Hopefully that's going to have been something interesting or not. But you know what? It's me wittering at you as normal. I'm coming back round the table. I am. I'm coming back round here. So we've been for a little walk and everything today. That's my exercise almost done. Nah, I shall do a bit more of something somewhere. There we go. So hopefully that was a bit of interest and a bit different. As I say, I love crazy patchwork, and I have multiple pieces of small ones that I've done over the years, but nothing. Oh, hang on a minute. Now, if I can get to this easily, my mate Margaret does the most intricate stuff you've ever seen. I'm sure she won't mind me showing you this. Oh, this lives in my when I'm teaching crazy patchwork. I'd forgotten all about this. I have these on loan from my friend Margaret, who also did City and Guilds at the same time as me, bless her. She loves crazy patchwork, and talk about over the top. Totally amazing. And this is one of the projects that's ongoing. And because she's sort of come to halt on it for a minute, it lives with me. But look at this. I put this all. So now, do you know the other day I was saying about you can start in the centre and work around and around and around to get your base block? Yeah. So that's how Margaret's done this one. Okay, and then she embellishes. So what I've done, there's one just started to embellish, all the bits and things going on here. But let me show you one that she's actually finished. Says she. Get them up the right way. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. Isn't that just stunning? Takes her a couple of weeks to do a block. They are completely... Every seam has either got, apart from stitching, lace and beads and motifs and buttons, and it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. She does get a little bit carried away with her crazy patchwork. And I have the honour of actually being able to use that one when I'm teaching. Until such times as she decides she needs to finish it, in which case I'm going to have to relinquish it and send it back to her. But that's all good. And then there's another one here that she started, bless her, and hasn't actually finished. Let me, can I show you? Look, this is a darker one. You might be able to see this a bit clearer. Can you see that? How fabulous. If you look at the back, it will give you some sort of an idea of just the amount of stitching and stuff that she does on these. They are truly amazing. And I wouldn't stand a hope in hell of coming anywhere near this for the amount of embellishment. I just don't have the time. But it's like everything, and I've said it before, I think. Our stitching shows our personality a bit more, doesn't it? It will show us... I always find, I find it really interesting in classes. It will show us what sort of colour ranges we like, how bright a person is, how tidy a person is, how neat, how, you know, coordinated, or not, as the case may be. But I love it in class because I get to see what you're all producing. I give you an idea and let you run with it, and then hopefully you produce your own version of whatever it is I've been doing, or my own design that you then interpret in your own way. And I just love it. That's why I love all the photos that you send in to me, because I might have inspired it, but it's showing you within my creation, for want of a better way of putting it. And I hope that doesn't sound too conceited, but I get such a kick out of seeing your take on things. That shows Margaret. She will spend hours and hours and hours doing all this stuff by hand, and it's intricate, and it's got to be right. If it's not right, she don't want to know. Fabulous. Whereas me, yeah, chuck it on there, get it in there, make it look something, go for it. What can I do different? We're two very, very different personalities. Colour-wise, we're pretty much the same. Although Margaret does like, she likes mucky colours, as I call them. So she likes muddy taupes and browns and things, which is why those two are actually probably not finished, because they're a bit bright on Margaret, I would say. Whereas I love everything in your face. I can do nice and neat and tidy and lovely and tasteful. I can. In fact, my next mystery quilt will show you that. As I say, it's not something people would normally put to being my work. And it's fabulous Tilda fabric, as I was saying. But you can see the total difference of different people's characters coming out in the way that they work. And it's not just within Crazy, it will be within whatever you're making. You can see the personality and the type of person, or at least I feel that I can to a degree anyway. As I say, I'm wandering around my classes whilst you're all busy doing. And those been in classes know, well, I will walk and walk and walk on. In fact, my pedometer will come out sometimes with several kilometres throughout the day. Whereas I'm just literally walking around a village hall maybe. And on occasion dancing in the middle and doing it. It has been known, I'm sorry. And I'm looking at all your gear and your stuff, and I'm watching what you're doing. And I just find it fascinating, so fascinating. And to see people engrossed, because my classes do tend to be a bit full on, as I think you all know. I get you going, and then I keep you going. I can't see the point in you having a whole day workshop with me and not learning or producing something really fabulous. I try to get you really, really doing. I want you to have your money's worth as much as anything, you know. So there we go. So that's a little bit more about me and my craziness, as in patchwork. Yeah, and brain. I'll give you that one. It is a bit barking. So and you met Paul. How cool was that? On his knees and everything. Bless him. He's doing fabulous things in the garden, which we wouldn't normally get to be doing, which is really, really lovely. So there we are. So our normal 3 things of the day. Have you done your exercise? Are you off to do some exercise? Are you out for a lovely walk? Actually, that brings... See, I've gone off on a tangent again. When you're out doing your lovely walks, take your phone with you. Start taking a few photos of lovely things, nice things, quiet things. If you're stuck indoors, get your camera on your phone and walk around the flat, the house, wherever you are, and take some close-ups of things. See what shapes and designs and colours you get, but really in close. Bits of stuff, and see what you get. You can imagine outside bits of nature and grasses and bugs and all sorts of stuff. But indoors, you can do the same. It's amazing what a carpet looks like up really close. And vacuum it first. Otherwise, like mine, you'll get a pile of dust and them little buggy things. Wood lice. We breed wood lice really well in our old house. But you get graveyards of those, don't you? Little piles of them. I feel so sorry for them always. I really do. Bless them. Yeah. So wood lice. What was I talking about? Exercise. Bit of exercise. Up from your machine. Off and do. Washing up. Whatever it is it's going to take. Okay. So that's that. Exercise. Tidy. Have we had a tidy? You can see my tidy still, as I said, probably about a day's worth away. And then that'll all be clear and lovely down there. There's so much more space than I've had in a long while anyway. But it's going to be really nice and good in here for bigger classes. It's going to be fab. And then what's the last one? Friends. Romans, countryman, lend me your ears. I was watching Monty Python the other day. I can't help it. I love Monty Python. And then one of the Carry On films. Cleopatra and all. Love it. Love it. That's where the Friends Roman Countryman came from originally, I think. From the Carry On film. Love it. But there we go. It's easily pleased to see. I just like to laugh at things. Yeah, I can't be doing with horribles. I like laughing. So have you spoken to everyone? Is everybody okay? Hello to someone you've not spoken to in months, maybe. What the hell? Little phone call, little text, as I'm always saying. But more importantly than everything, I do hope you're all well and you're okay. And so actually, now that brings me to something else that I read the other day. Apparently, doctors and that are all getting a little bit worried because where we've been told to stay indoors, and we're doing as we're told, which is fabulous, but some of us might have health issues and we're not going to the doctors where maybe we should, because they're all still doing their normal everyday everything that you need to be doing. So I think there's a little bit of concern that maybe some people have health issues that they're not actually going and dealing with. How awful is that? So don't be afraid to actually, if you need to, shout your doctor. But other than that, what I'm going to say is I hope this winter wasn't too long or a bit daft. And have a lovely day. Be good. Be lovely. See ya.